Okay, so this is Specialist Maths 8D question number 26. We have solids being formed by rotating around an axis. So I've got x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. So it's centered at 0, 0. And it's going to go from minus a through to a, and it's going to go up to b and down to minus b, and it's going to look like this. So perfectly symmetrical, so it doesn't matter if I rotate around this way or rotate around that way, I'm going to get the same answer because I'm going to get the same sphere irrespective. I'm only going to consider this one, and then I'm going to rotate around the x-axis and double it. If I rotate around the y-axis, then also double it. Okay, so I've got around the x-axis, the volume is going to equal 2 lots of the integrals from 0 to a of pi y squared dx, and y squared on b squared will equal 1 minus x squared on a squared, and y squared is going to equal b squared 1 minus x squared on a squared. So the volume is going to equal 2 the integral from 0 to a. I'm going to put a pi out there as well, and that will give me b squared 1 minus x squared on a squared dx. And I can put a b squared out the front as well. So 2b squared pi integral from 0 to a of 1 minus x squared on a squared dx. That's going to equal 2b squared on pi x minus x cubed on 3a squared from 0 to a, which will equal 2b squared pi a minus a cubed on top of 3a squared minus 0 plus 0, which equals 2b squared pi a minus 1/3 a, which is 2b squared pi times 2/3 a, which equals 4/3 ab squared pi cubic units. Now to do it around the y-axis. So I'm going to take this and I'm rotating around the y-axis. The volume is going to equal pi times the integral from 0 to b of x squared dy. And x squared is going to equal, x squared will equal a squared times 1 minus y squared on b squared. So the volume is going to equal pi times 0 to b squared a squared 1 minus y squared on b squared dy, which will equal a squared pi, the integral from 0 to b, of 1 minus y squared on b squared dy, which will be a squared pi times y minus y cubed on 3b squared from 0 to b, which will be a squared pi b minus b cubed on top of 3b squared minus 0 plus 0, which is a squared pi b minus 1/3 b, which will give you 2/3 b a squared pi units cubed. And of course, That's only the top half, so we need to double it to get the volume of the whole and that's going to be the volume.